In a world of thread and linen, where the colors intertwine, the cross-stitch queen awakens with a vision so divine. With needle poised like magic wand, she dances through the night, creating tales of fabric dreams in hues both bold and bright. While nightingales sing your song in stitches soft and sweet, each knot a whisper of the past where memories and fabric meet. With parades of half-done dreams, they flutter in the air. Completed projects tell the tales of love stitched with such care.
Hi there, folks. I'm so glad that you found me. This is a channel about cross-stitch and needle art, and hopefully you'll like what I have to say and stay and enjoy what I have to show you today. Perhaps you'll choose to subscribe and like and share if you do. My name is Victoria, and Vic to my friends and family. So Vic here. My Flosstube name is Nightingale Stitchery. Neitz is my last name, and I love birds. Stitchery to indicate all the forms of needlework that I love to do. Mostly on this channel, I will share with you all about my cross-stitch journey, but I would also like to share some of my sewing pieces, quilting, paper piecing, fusion of crochet and quilting, and bag making. But we'll hold on to all that excitement for another time, during our regular times together. So let's get this Wip Parade started. I keep track of my stitches in the It's So Emma journals. If you hold on, I'll grab one. That's what these look like. And this is pretty much what they look like inside. So I'm sure that you have seen those before. However, I realized that I had missed documenting a few of them, so they might be out of order as far as when I started them. I kind of guesstimated when I started those. My stitching journey started way back in the mid-1980s on plastic canvas, making ornaments and such that my mom kind of showed me how to do. I'm sorry, but I have none of that to show. I either gave them away or lost them in the journey of the last 36 years. Well, I guess it would be closer to 40-ish years. Anyway, I have none of it to show. So I graduated to ornate, lacy, and embroidery stitching on plastic canvas. Again, no proof. I mean, samples. I sold or gave away all that I made back then. So in the early 90s, I wanted to learn cross stitch as my mom had been doing it for a while. Small pieces, mainly. I received a kit from my husband's grandma, so I stitched that up and gave it to her. That started my love. At first, I would see my mother's Annie's stitching catalogs and do a pattern straight out of the catalog. From the pictures that were in the catalog that were like inches big. Oh, my eyes were so much better back then. Then my mother showed me her Just Cross Stitch magazines and Leisure Arts magazines, and I found beautiful things to stitch from those. As I became more confident in my stitching, I started to put together a sampler, and that's where my whips starts. I used to stitch monogamously, then added the sampler that bit by bit I would find things that I wanted to add to it. All of the other things are finished, and you'll see those, maybe some of those, in my finished pieces that I didn't actually do anything with them. Some pieces I did frame, but some pieces I didn't. Anyway, I would like to add a PS or addendum to my statement of using catalogs to stitch from. Back then, I didn't understand that behind every pattern is a designer, not a big company, unharmed by my not buying the pattern. The designers put so much work into their patterns, and I believe they need and deserve our support if you like their patterns. No condemnation out there, but I would ask, please learn from my error and not to steal from designers. It's not I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say there. It's no condemnation. If you're doing it, feel your own conviction about that, I guess I would say. But our designers need us, and we need to appreciate the work that they put into it. As you will see, I will say now that as you get to know me and my stash, I think I've made up for it since then. So anyway, my first sampler is stitched on, I think, 14 count Rustico oatmeal with DMC colors. So I'm going to pull that out, and I think, man, the people that do this all the time, I'm gonna give you like so much kudos right now, because I am nervous as nervous can be, and there's so much stuff around me right now that, anyway, okay, I'm gonna show you my sampler. It is masking taped on the side, because that is what I used to do with them, to be able to make it so that they wouldn't peel or shed their strings. So anyway, it's on, I believe it's 14 count, and I'm going to go up and show you the whole thing. Actually, I'll come back a little so you can see the whole thing. I kept adding things to it as I would find a pattern that I liked and something that I wanted to put into it. Obviously, it's from I'm going to say the 90s, I think. And so it's, 90s motifs that are in it. So the corners are the seasons. So lilacs for spring, roses for summer, grapes for the fall, and snowflakes for the winter. And then back in the day, this pattern here, two friends sitting together, was very important to me. I had a very special friend that she would do a lot of crafting and such with me, and I was a very, very young mom, and she just took me under her wing, and we would do crafty stuff together. And so that motif symbolizes her and myself just being friends and having each other's back. And then in the center here, obviously home meant a lot to me as well, and loving home and all of that. And then I don't know if you can distinguish that there are two colors here in this monogram, but if I bring it closer, maybe you can. The N is in green, and the V is in like a navy blue. And obviously that's me, and was my way of signing my name to it. And then I think that I did not have any other particular motifs for these other areas that are empty. But now that it's gotten to this point and I've gotten it back out again and everything, I think that I want to get one of those books. I don't have one now, but the Brenda Keyes motifs books or something like that, that would give me some ideas of other things to put in there. So anyway, that is that piece. I did want to show you though, because I don't think I would be giving anyone else's patterns away necessarily that you would be able to tell anyway what they were. But this is how I drew out the pattern way back in the day and had put it together basically. And, we can still do that kind of thing now. and be able to make out our own patterns. Just we're taking motifs from other books that we've purchased, and are able to do patterns that way. So anyway, so that was my first one. I don't actually have any of the colors together or anything like that still. But I know I used DMC colors because back then that was pretty much all we had, or at least that I had knowledge of. Okay, so I am going to be turning this direction a lot and reaching over here because I'm going to pull out the bags. I have a large tote that I'm going to pull the bags out of, that I've got them in order so that I can pull out the pattern and the threads. Most of the bags are open already. Some of them weren't because I was afraid of the pieces coming out of them. So the next one that I'm going to show you is the Sleeping Bee. And again, I have the information over here on a tablet that I'm going to glance at this direction to give you the information about the piece. Okay, so it's the Sleeping Bee. This is the pattern itself by the Blue Flower. You will see a running, basically, I love the Blue Flower. I love Janine McGowan. I just adore her patterns. I have quite a few of them, and that is what a lot of what I work on. So anyway, I will show you the piece here in a second, but here are the threads that I'm using. My note says using called for colors except for whitewash, I'm using white, and for blackboard, I'm using 3799. So, and here is what I have so far. Bring it back a little bit. I can't tell if the color that you're seeing is actually the color that it is, but it's mushroom, which is a basic, real basic. And then there is the stitching. And if you have anything that you want to share with me, how I can make my stitching better, or that you enjoy my stitching or anything like that, I would love to hear it. I think I can take critiquing okay, and I always want to get better at my work. I will say that white is not my favorite stitching at all. I feel like my stitches look horrible on white, but there really isn't any white on this piece. This color in here is not white. I'm not sure what color it is. Anyway, there we go. Sleeping Bee. And I think the reason it has like pine and snowflakes and that kind of thing around it is because bees sleep during the winter. And I think that was basically Janine's point at a sleeping bee. So again, I'm going to put them back there, so I have to turn. My next piece is by Veronique Enginger. I think that that's how you say it. Apologize if it's not how you say it, but I even got on Google to see if I was saying it correctly. So anyway, I am working on her advent calendar out of the book, and I have to take it out of my bag. The Magic of Christmas to Cross Stitch. And it has so many beautiful patterns in here. I'll show you a couple of the pages. I saw this on another Flosstubers page. It was a mom and her daughter, I think Heather and Janine. Oh, I can't remember what their Flosstube name is right at this second. But Heather really enjoys Veronique's patterns, and I can say they are so super cute. So super cute. So anyway, so I am working on the advent calendar, and I'll go to that page and you can see what it looks like as a whole. Now, I don't think that I'm going to actually do it that way, but I did stitch it as if I was going to finish them like as pillows or different ways, and I'll show you that right now. And I'll show you them, each of them close up, but I'll show them to you far back here so you can see the whole thing. And then I'll bring them up close because you just have to see how cute they are. That snowman is like everything. He's so cute. I think the thing about Veronique's patterns is all of the backstitch that goes into her patterns just brings things to life, just really brings things out in them. And you know, if you don't like backstitch, you're not going to enjoy her patterns for sure. But if you do, or if you don't mind it, I guess I would say there, then I think you would enjoy her patterns a lot. They're so beautiful and vintagey looking, and just, I think they're delightful. They're a little hard for me to do. Like the way that I was going to try to show you one of her patterns in the book, but it's too hard to show it without showing the whole thing. But at the very bottom of the page, I don't even know if I can show you that. I want to. Let me try to do it without showing the whole thing. Okay, at the bottom of the page is the color key, okay? And when you're looking at the pattern itself, because the pattern is so petite, little, you can't really expand in the book to what color you're working on to see if all of those parts are the color that you're supposed to be doing. Anyway, long story short, I took a picture of each of the pieces that I needed to work on and put them into my iPad so that I could then expand on it. But so each page of the charts has its own color key. Not every little tiny pattern has all the same colors in it. And so you have to have the book open to that color chart for each one. So that makes it a little difficult to do it. So you have a lot of parts going on the table at the same time, if that makes any sense. So like I have my iPad open, I have the book open to the color chart that I need for that particular one. Plus I have the piece that I'm working on. Sometimes I need it to be in a hoop because it's got a lot of the back stitching on it and stuff. And I like to use a hoop when I'm doing the back stitching. It makes it lay nicer. So anyway, it takes a little bit more work for me to take out the Veronique. So I feel like I'm not probably progressing as quickly as I ought to with that. And I started that in November of 21. So I did want to say I started Sleeping Bee in August of 21. So I'm sure that I was working on like actual red work and stuff like that previous to that, and may have had like other pieces that I was working on, but I don't have them sitting in front of me. So I certainly didn't restart stitching in 21. It was probably earlier than that, like 2018 or something like that. I'd kind of taken a break, but some of that will come out as far as some of the finished stitches that I had done. Anyway, I did take a break during probably the 2000s. I painted a lot. I did a lot more sewing. I learned how to quilt, and that was a lot of fun. And so, you know, where it kind of looks like I wasn't doing any stitching or anything, it was just different stitching. Yeah. So anyway, so the next one that I want to talk to you about is the Hands-on Design Seasons series. And that I started in like March of 22. Some of these pieces, some I finished, so I know that I did them previous to that period. But anyway, they are being, oh shoot, okay, the advent calendar is being done on 32 count Silver Moon Lagana by Zweigart, and it's being stitched in all the DMC colors that they called for. Okay, so the Let's Talk Seasons series by Hands-on Design is being stitched on 16 count chalkboard Ada, and I am using the called for DMCs. Okay, so the spring, I have finished the large one, and I'll show you that. And that is the large one. I'll pull it back so you can see it. And up close, and again, I hate stitching with white, but this is when I realized that I hate stitching with white. Anyway, if anybody has tips on how to stitch with white and make your stitches come out correctly or nicely every time, that would be amazing if you would share that with me. I mean, I think they look okay, but they're not great by any means. So, okay, and then this is the Hello Spring, the small part, and let me just show you the pattern itself also. There's the large, and then the small and the medium are down at the bottom. So the round hoop is the small, and that's what I have started here. Bring it close so you can see it. Those little chicks are just so cute. I guess they're robins, baby robins. Okay, if you hear my kitty, her name is Lindy, and she's sweet as can be. Sometimes she comes in and wants treats, and that's what she's wanting right now. Anyway, okay, so the next one that I'm going to show you is the summer, and I am working on the large one right now, and that is the only piece that I have done in the summer one. I tend to be a seasonal stitcher, so like I stitch in the season rather than before. I typically stitch during the season, so obviously I don't do a lot of stitching during the summer. I mean, I do a lot of stitching during the summer, but I like more to be outside or doing other kind of travel-y type of things. So anyway, not much stitching during the summer happens. So that might be the reason why that's the only one that I've done of that part of the series. So anyway, okay, then the next one is Harvest, and this one I have the 2 small ones done, and have not started the large one. So here's the hoop one, and then here's the medium size one. Now, although it's meant to go like in a hoop, I may not finish it that way. I might finish it on like one of Chantal's, I think it's Chantal's 141, like one of her rounds or something like that. That might work, or find a different way to do it. I have done some finishes in hoops. They're just, you know, they are what they are, and I'm not sure. It's not really my decor preference. I did do a finish in a hoop for my husband, and you'll see that during like finishes and stuff if I do a floss tube of just finishes, which I think I will. Anyway, okay, so the last one is Winter, and the only one that I have of this one is the large one. And there is that one. I love how the globe, the what are they called? Yeah, anyway, snow globe. There's the name of what it's called. Okay, YouTube, like, mind fog is a thing. Anyway, I love the snow globe. That was so super cute. I don't know how Kathy comes up with these patterns, but they're so super cute. And I will say though, I do not enjoy stitching on black or charcoal or anything dark like that. It's a little hard, and you know, you really have to focus and concentrate, and that might be why I don't have them all finished at this point, because I have been stitching on them a long time, since 2022, or might have even been some of them 2021. So you know, when you decide that you don't necessarily like stitching on the actual fabric, that might hinder you from moving forward with it. So anyway, the next one, I'm going to take a real quick drink. Please make sure you have a beverage around, because you will need one. Anyway, the next one is Green on Green, and this is by Rosewood Manor. When the pandemic happened, and it was like right at the beginning of it, and Hobby House, you could still go in because there wasn't many people there, and that kind of thing. Anyway, I saw this on their wall, and Kathy had done it, and it was so gorgeous. And at that point, I don't think I had really seen many like samplers and stuff like that. Not that I like really fell in love with them or anything. And when I saw that up there, it was one of those things, pardon me, it was one of those things that I just thought was just so beautiful. I think that she had done theirs in the called for colors and uniform. I can't remember now. I think it was in uniform blue, but it could have been a different color. But anyway, it was just so beautiful. And it's funny because you think I would remember now, like I see it all the time now. Anyway, I'm going to show you what I do have done. And Mine is on 28 count Abecedarian by R&R, and I am using Gentle Arts Uniform Blue. It was called for Picture This Plus Papas and Weeks Dye Works Cadet. So I think I misspoke that I said that theirs was done with Uniform Blue. I think it was done with the called for. But anyway, okay, so this is Uniform Blue on Abecedarian. And I'll show you up close all of the beautiful modeling in that thread. Is just the variegation of it. It's just so pretty. And my house is in a lot of blues like this, and I just love it. I think it's just beautiful. So let me show you the threads. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see all the variegation through it, but it is really pretty. And yeah, I think you can see that. It goes light to dark and back, and it's just so pretty. So again, that's Uniform Blue. I love stitching on this, but I will say, like, the back stitching that is like here and stuff is a little, the counting is intimidating to me, and so I end up not getting back to it. But now that I see it out again, I'm like, I want to stitch on it again. So anyway, that's my hope, that I will get back to it again really soon. And do we all think that when we're doing these Wip Parades that, man, I have some really beautiful stuff to get back to? And yeah, my pieces are very varied. Like, that is a beautiful elegant sampler, just gorgeous. And the next one that I think you'll like it. I think it's super cute. But it's just that it's cute. It's like super cute. And anyway, it's for when I need something just kind of crazy simple to work on. But it's actually not as simple as you would think, only because I haven't been showing my project bags at all. These are all ones that I've made, and I mean, I love them and they're beautiful and everything, but I guess I just haven't really been paying attention. I should have shown them. Anyway, this one is called Craft Room by Batticuore. And I don't have any idea if I am saying that correctly or not, but yeah, it's so cute. It's just absolutely adorable. It is being stitched on 14 count 14 count Vintage Country Mocha by Zweigart, but I accidentally used the wrong side. I did not use the modeled side, and it's using all of the DMC colors that it called for. So anyway, isn't that the cutest thing ever? I changed her hair. I think her hair was red in the pic. Yep, her hair was red in the picture, and mine is blonde, so I made her a blondie. And it's just so cute. I am so into vintage country modern. Just the 50s come back this direction, and I love like all the red and the aqua and the pink and all of that. And my kitchen, when we lived in a huge 2-story home, my kitchen was very, the walls were aqua, the curtains were red. I had a vintage enamel top table. It was just so cutesy, and I adored it so much. And we just recently, this last year, moved to a smaller home, downsized, and you can hear Lindy in the background, I'm sure. She's caught a ball and wants my husband to acknowledge it with treats. Anyway, so yes, so it's so cute. Let me just show you her up close. And yeah, so I like to work on it when I don't necessarily need to do a lot of counting. I've got a lot of places filled in now, so I kind of have to go back to the drawing board of having to count things. So anyway, but she's just super cute and fun to work on. And okay, so the next one, I started that in August of 22. And the next one should have been previous to this, but anyway, it's I started it in May of 22, and I think I started it on Mother's Day in 22, and it is what I call, or what I did call, my dessert stitch. And the reason why I call it that is because I would eat all my vegetables and everything by doing all the other stitching and allow myself the luxury of working on this one. And this one is Gilet, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen Gilet by Reflet de Soie, and she's just gorgeous. Just so gorgeous. And I will tell you, I have her in a French General bag that I made just because she needed a sweet and special bag. And yeah, anyway, so she is being stitched on, let's see, Silver Moon Lugana 32 count Zweigart. There's a variety of threads, and so mine will look a little different, and I'll show you the pattern again. Mine will look a little different. I took Lisa from Kindred Stitcher and Deb from Country Stitchers, their color conversions that they offered to give you if you wanted them when they were showing their pieces on Flosstube. So you can go back and look at their Flosstubes probably, I'd say at least a year ago or more, that they were talking about their Gilets. And they will, I think, still be more than happy to send you. It was an email in an email form that they just had written down their color conversions. So I will show you all the different colors that I am using, and some of them, again, like I said, are Lisa's, and some of them were Deb's. I kind of put both of them together and pick the color that I think I'm going to like in that particular area better. Let's see. Because they went to the work of converting the colors, I would prefer for you to get a hold of them, and then you can also choose what colors you want to use. So again, I'll show you what it looks like on here. Now, Deb made hers very rustic, very much more like the antique. So let me see. The parts like down here and up here where there is a lot of brown and stuff in this area over here, she made it look like that. Like I think she explained that she used like coffee dye and stuff like that to make it that way. So okay, I'm gonna hold this up on, actually let me just hold it up by itself this is how big it's going to be. Because it's quite large. But I will try to show you. Can't tell how much you're getting to see. And I'll pull it up slowly. And yes, I do have threads hanging down around the house area that, because that's the part that I'm working on right now. So then I'm gonna put it on the board so I can show the parts up close. It is stunning. I cannot tell you how much I love it, and I love working on it. It is no longer my dessert stitch. I have this now out on my Lowry stand on the porch, so every day I try to stitch on it. I am working on this area here now and coming up around the house in the bushes area. It is so much fun to work on, and yeah, I just love it. I love it so much. I think that I love pretty much anything French. I just love the way that they stylize things and the way that a lot of the lettering is curly and just so elegant looking, and their flowers are realistic, but they're just so, I don't want to use the word elegant like 50 million times, but they are so elegant looking. And anyway, I just enjoy it a lot. So, okay, my next, I just realized that I said like several times. I hope I'm not saying all the time. Anyway, taking another drink. You could make it a drinking game. However many times I say, take a swig of something, at least you'll be hydrated. Anyway, this next piece is a series, which I'm sure that you're all very familiar with, the series from Primrose Cottage. Their B series stitches. And I'll just show you some of the other ones that I have. I have this one. I think it's finished. I'm working on this one. Actually, I have it kitted. I'm not working on it yet. Let's see. Be Nice and Buzz Off. I think I have that one finished. And then the Quaker. I don't have this started, and I don't have it kitted yet. I really enjoy all of the stitches, and so I am looking forward to doing them. I put them mostly on Ada because I wanted them to be quick stitches that I could take with me to different places. So this is the one that I'm working on right now. This one is Hive Rules. When I say that I put them on Ada to make them easier, it's easier for me to see them when I'm at, you know, like things in the car, doctor's appointments or stuff like that. So anyway, so that one is Hive Rules. And this is the part that I have finished. So I am typically a bottom left starter, which I realize that I think I'm in the minority, but that's okay. You start where you want to, right? And some starts, I start in the center. Usually if I start in the center, it's because there isn't something easily started with on the left-hand side. Also, it might be that the fun part is right in the middle. And that's where I start because of course I want to do the fun thing. And anyway, so it is up to the always. So I'm up to here in the stitch. So I have a little ways to go, but like I said, it's a lot of fun and it's easy stitching. And sometimes you just want that, right? You just want it to be an easy stitch. Sometimes you're really looking to doing the artwork, and you know, so you want something that is maybe a little bit more like Gilles or something. And sometimes you want it just to be easier, cuter, you know, that particular kind of look. Okay, so the next one I am going to show you is called In a Nutshell. And it's really, hold on one second because I have a tower falling over. Okay, it's called In a Nutshell. It's by Cricut Collection. And it's an old pattern. I don't even know when it's from. Like, they came in booklets. I'll show you the booklets. And up close. They're kind of old school looking, very kind of country looking, which I like in different aesthetics. I love the idea of having a tree put together kind of like that in the fall. My fall decorating tends to be a little bit more country kind of style, or primitive, maybe I would say. And so it's kind of that aesthetic I enjoy for that part of the year. I'm not always, like, I don't always love primitive style. I used to paint primitive, but my decorating is more, I would say, like vintagey or vintage modern kind of look. Anyway, so I started the In a Nutshell back in October of 2022. I did want to just really quick say, with the Hive rules and all of those bee pieces, I'm using 16 count white Aida and whatever DMCs they called for. So, okay, so the In a Nutshell Cricut Collection, it's on various Weeks Dye Works fabrics, and I'm thinking that they were somewhere between 28 and 32 count, but I think that I've got them all on 32 count. None of them have a little piece of paper or anything like that telling me that what count they were. So they just happen to be fabrics that either I got at Hobby House or that I had in my stash that I had gotten online on stash unloading sites. So anyway, so I'm going to show you two that I have finished. This one is called Family. It's probably a little hard to read that red in the green blue color, but I love all the little cardinals, are super cute. And then this one is Friends, and I made this for to resemble my best friend and I. I am totally an all blue girl, and I'm totally a girly girl, and she likes red, and so I did hers, and she has brown hair and I have blonde hair. So she knows who she is, and at some point in time I'll probably mention her over and over again, because you know, when you have somebody in your life like that, that she'll be all over these videos no matter what. Anyway, the next one that I'm working on is Nature. And let me see if I can just real quick. I didn't think about finding that particular one. Yes. Okay, so it is this one here with the sunflowers on it. It will have sunflowers on it. And then I did want to show you really quick, although they don't have like any of the pieces on it. I do have them all marked off for those. But these are the other colors that I will be doing. And I am 99% sure that they're all Weeks Dye Works colors of some sort. So I don't know that 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. They feel like Weeks Dye Works fabrics, and they look like Weeks Dye Works fabrics. So, and like I said, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. I work at Hobby House Landing, and I get to cut all the linen and those fabrics. And so I've become a little, I wouldn't say knowledgeable, but I would say I've seen a lot of the fabrics, and a lot of the Weeks Dye Works fabrics come looking like that. So anyway, and then I did want to show you this old school carrier for flosses is necessary, because it seems like there's like 100 different flosses in there. And so I have that all together. And just to show you, like I'm non-discriminatory about bags. I don't care. They're Ziploc, they're whatever. But anyway, this is one of the bags, I think from like Amazon, different sizes you can get. And then I use these tags for the most part. I have plastic tags as well, but these are way easier to use for me. So I just get them again on Amazon and write on what I'm working on, and then you know, cross it out when I'm done with that tag, and use it again for another one. Yeah, so okay, take a drink. I just said anyway. Okay, the next one that I am working on, I do ultimately love it. Okay, I'm saying ultimately because she's been in timeout for a little while. So, she's beautiful. Her name is Winter Rose Manor. I think there are lots of other people I have heard that have put her in timeout for periods of time. She is by Brenda Gervais of With Thy Needle and Thread. And like I said, I love her. I think she's beautiful. The last time that I pulled her out to work on her, I had to remove, and right now I can't think which parts I had to remove, but I had to remove a couple of parts. I am positive some of these had to come out and going up because they were off. Something was off. And then I think something around here was off as well, and I had to take them out also. But it's been a long time, so I don't know for sure. So anyway, I'm working on the snow at the bottom here and haven't even started the house. I know I changed the color of the house, I believe, to something that's a little bit more pink, just because I wanted it to show up a little bit better. Let me just look at that real quick. Yes, I changed it to Meredith's pink instead of, I think it says cockle shell is the color that it was calling for. No, conch is what it, or conch is what it was calling for. So I'll show those two colors together there. The conch is a little bit more peachy tan color, and the Meredith is a little pinker. You know, I haven't gotten to that point yet, so I'm not sure. Maybe I'll change my mind and decide, you know, I want to do something different. I don't know. But anyway, she is on 32 count water lily, and I'm using mostly the called for threads. So again, I'll show you. I do love the berries. I love the colors. Like, I love the pinks and the reds on this pale green. It's kind of almost like a sagey type of green. And I love all the colors on it. And looking at it right now, I'm thinking, oh, I should do that. I should work on this because it's the end of the winter and, you know, it would just be a good stitch for right now. Okay, we're hoping it's the end of the winter. I don't think I told you where I live, but knowing that Hobby House is near Rochester, New York. That's where I live, is near Rochester, New York. So I love it here. I love living near my friends and family and such, but I hate the winter. And this winter has been long, cold, and snowy. And since I work at Hobby House, I live about an hour away from it. And take a drink. Anyway, I live about an hour, so the snow is a thing, having to drive through it. And I, up until this year, have never wanted to drive in the snow. I've done it because I've had to, but I never wanted to. And so this year, I didn't mind it at all. I mean, it wasn't fun, but because I was going to work, I really didn't mind it because I love my work and love getting to do what I get to do. So, okay, the next one that I'm going to show you is called Foxwood Sleds. And the particular one that I'm working on right now is the mini village. I'm looking, I have some other patterns that I finished. I finished these, and I have not done these, and I have not done these yet, but I have finished the cardinals. Anyway, okay, so this is the one that I am working on. And they are done on the brown perforated paper, and I think that it's 14 count. It seems like it is. I think I might do the pillow as well, but I enjoyed having the cardinals on the tree this year. They were really pretty. I had 3 of the sleds, and the cardinals, there was 4. So my one friend at work gave me one of her sleds, so I was able to put all 4 on the tree. It was so pretty, so fun. Anyway, I have my pieces. I'll show you what I have them in. I have them in this little box. I have no idea where I got this box from, but it works really, really well. So it holds the threads on the one side for me, and I can take this with me and just set it on my lap and have the threads in there. And then I am working on these. So I'll just show you. Oh, maybe I should. Sorry. Actually, you know what? I might just hold them up together, and then you should be able to see them. You can see the little house happening here. Again, I think I'm doing 2 of the mill or 2 of the house. I'm not sure. But I'll show you what they'll look like again on the pattern. So I tend to be a color finisher, a color completer. And especially when I'm working on something like this, it's so tiny, and you're only doing like maybe 10 or 15 stitches of a color. To me, if I don't do all of that thread all at the same time, I feel like I'm wasting my thread. Okay, it's DMC, and you know, when I bought most of my DMC, it was 25 cents a skein or whatever. So anyway, those are Foxwood sleds, and they're super cute when they're finished. tiny stitches. They don't take very long to do, but they're really cute and very satisfying when you finish one. So, okay, the next one is called Courage. And I'm sure if you watch any other Flosstube at all, you've heard of this pattern. Pam from Just Keep Stitching had a stitch along to celebrate her being cancer free for I'm not sure how many years. I'm sorry, Pam, but a long time. And what better way to rejoice with someone else or celebrate not having cancer, but then by doing a stitch. And Courage was absolutely perfect for that, because, you know, it takes a lot of courage to fight cancer and to, you know, be sick and deal with all of it. And anyway, so I decided then that I would also do it. I had endometrial cancer I was diagnosed in September of 2011. I had a surgery, and thankfully they were able to get it all in one time. I didn't have to have any chemo or anything like that, but scary nonetheless. And you know, when you have the checkups every few months for a couple of years, and then 6 months for a couple of years, and after that, you know, 5 years, and it just all the time you're thinking, wow, I had cancer, you know, and it gets a little bit better all the time. But, you know, you get to the end of them checking you up and checking up on you. And when I got to the end, I was like, I'm celebrating. It was amazing. And, you know, just went and had a special coffee and just felt really good about, I'm done. I'm done having to worry about this particular cancer. And so anyway, mine is purple. I think purple was also, I can't remember, colon cancer or pancreatic cancer, something like that. But anyway, it also represents endometrial. And so now I'm like in this area here is where I was working last, I think is where the thread is. And I chose 2 different shades of purples. Grape Ice was one. And funny story, I accidentally ordered all of this thread one time, and I'm like, what am I going to use purple thread on? I had like purchased like 10 skeins of it, and I don't remember why. Otherwise, I would finish the funnier part of the story. I don't know. But anyway, I ended up with that, and I thought, okay, well, I'll just keep a hold of it. And lo and behold, this stitch comes along, and I needed purple thread. So there you go. Somebody knows what you need. Anyway, the other color that I'm using is Classic Colorworks Belle Soie. And oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous and it feels so good. But it is Elegant Eggplant. And so between the two, I was trying to pick up like the plummy colors in it. And I think it did the job. I like it. It's very pretty. Both threads are quite variegated in their own ways, and so I think it's showing the stitches really beautifully. And I started this again, I think I said in September of 23. It is being stitched on 32 count ivory even weave. It's not a Zweigart though, according to the selvage edge. It's not a Zweigart. So I think most everyone knows that Zweigart is has an orange thread through its selvage. So lavender. Okay, so here's the form of what they suggested the colors were to be. And purple is pancreatic and leiomyosarcoma, and lavender is all other cancers. So there wasn't an exact one for endometrial cancer. It was ovarian cancer, which is very different than endometrial, and uterine, which also is very different than endometrial. So anyway, that is that. And I will say, honestly, sometimes, which, you know, it's not a downer, it's just truth. Sometimes when I work on it, it makes me or lets me think a little too much about having had cancer, and sometimes I'm just not in the mood to do that. So, you know, sometimes I just don't need to fixate on that, and so I probably don't work on it as much as I ought to, but I would love to have it done. It's so pretty. It's really, really pretty. So, okay, the next piece that I am working on was part of Hobby House's mystery box in March and April of 24, and it is called Mary Weedon, and this is what it looks like. Kathy Mills of Hobby House, she's the owner, and she designs such beautiful, beautiful pieces. This is now available. I think it just went online this last week or so. They weren't sure if they were going to sell it, you know, be able to have it again, and they decided that they would. So it's so beautiful. It is stitched on, mine is stitched on 32 count parchment by Weeks Dye Works, and I am using all the called for threads that they provided. I got the mystery box last spring, and yeah, so this is what it looks like. And these are all the threads that came with it. It was so beautiful, beautifully packaged in a beautiful box, and had so many really neat pieces. There was cards in there that had to do with the piece, and just beautiful. So if you haven't gotten this, like I said, it is available now, and you can order it from Hobby House. So I love Kathy's choices of colors. They're so beautiful. Even though I don't decorate Prim necessarily, I think the colors are just so gorgeous. So how could you not, you know, use it in your house? It's so pretty. I was going to look to see if you can, I don't know if you can see it right there. There, that's the box that it came in. And so all of the accessories had to do with that. It was really, really neat. Very pretty. And well worth the money. Well worth the wait. That was that was something that, you know, it took a little while to get it, just like any of the mystery boxes that we, you know, get online or whatever, you know, if they, not just Hobby House, but I'm saying anyone's, it, you know, takes a while to get them, but they're always so worth it. They're so much fun to open, and, you know, I got the red box from Nicola Parkman this last time, the Hands Across the Sea, and oh my word, it's so, so beautiful. And I did do a box opening thing video for you guys, and I'll upload that at some point here, basically so you could see as if you were opening the box yourself, and perhaps next time you might think about getting one yourself. I didn't think that I would be able to get one. I thought they would certainly sell out, but this particular time, Nicola offered a lot more boxes, and so a lot more people were able to get them, and I have to say I was not one bit disappointed by anything that was in there. They're all beautiful, beautiful stitches. So I will be starting those at some point here, I'm sure. I mean, all of us have like a kabillion things to stitch, right? So we're all working at them, and there's still more to come because this market was crazy. Okay, so my next one to show you all is Annie Beez Stockings by Annie Beez. They're being stitched on 28 count black Lugana, which I think I said that I don't like stitching on black or charcoal or any color like that. Having a light box changes my world though. So I got a light box off of Amazon, I don't know, probably 6-7 years ago, something like that, and used it for tracing patterns and such for red work that I was doing and some other things. And somebody said you could use that to put on your lap so that you can see the holes behind your black stitches, and game changer, absolute game changer for me. So anyway, okay, I'm going to show you what I have done, and I've only gotten number 1 and 2 done, and I started these in July of 24. So although the light box has made it easier to stitch on them, and I've started a lot of things since working at Hobby House, I don't have as much time to stitch as I used to. So the smaller projects are a little easier. So anyway, so I have all of the other patterns to start working on them, and all the pieces are cut, ready to go. Yeah, so, and I am using the called for DMC colors because seriously, they're so beautiful and amazing to work with. I love DMC. I love any thread to work with, but I love DMC because they're crisp and clean color. They're easy to stitch with. They always glide into your fabric really nicely and everything. Anyway, okay, so the next one that I'm going to show you is called E. Dalton. Oh man, I hope I didn't show you the pattern. Okay, love me with integrity. Please do not copy any patterns that I mistakenly put on. Anyway, this is E. Dalton, 1847. And I am stitching it on 14 count hand-dyed gray Ada that I had done myself. I am using the called for Adas, the called for DMCs. And yes. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you that. Hold on one second. It is on a gray Ada. I love that it's 14 count just because it makes it super easy. It was done on a perforated paper, and I honestly will say I was afraid to do a big piece of perforated paper because I tend to bend fabric and stuff to be able to work on it. And anyway, so I was at the garage last week getting the car worked on, and I filled this entire area in while I was sitting there waiting, and it was so satisfying to be able to fill that all in and just like not feel like I have nothing to do. And I did want to mention that I had purchased this way back, probably in 21. I'm going to say like early on when I started going to Hobby House at their first location at the log cabin. I had seen it up on the mantle or down on the fireplace. I'm not sure where exactly it was, but it just was very this red here and the tan khaki color. It just was very vibrant, and I loved it. And I loved how simple it looked, but just how super pretty it was. Like these bee skeps on the side here, I just loved it. I don't know why I loved it so much, but I just loved it. So anyway, so I picked it up then, and then after I had started working at Hobby House, I think it was like that September of 24, Krista Gramer came to Hobby House, and they had a stitch day. Something had gotten canceled that weekend, and so they came, and some other people that had initially planned on attending, I think it was a retreat or something, came out anyway. And we, as people that were working at the shop, were invited to go and spend some time with those stitchers and stitch with them. And so I got to spend some time with them, and Krista did a presentation on the samplers, the sampler collection that she had brought with her. And oh my word, it was so beautiful, and all of the amazing knowledge that she had about the different samplers and stuff. Probably like a lot of you, I just love stitching what I love, like what's pretty to me or that kind of thing. And don't necessarily consider all the knowledge behind why the girls did the type of stitching that they did, what they were trying to learn, or what we could learn from what they were trying to learn. And just the amazement that I have obtained since then of these little girls, 4 years old and up, not, probably many of them more than 13 or 14 years old, stitching these incredibly gorgeous pieces, and understanding that they were learning it as a craft, for not as a craft like we think of craft, just like fun way to pass the time, but a craft that they were going to be able to use in their life, raising their children, being able to sew and stitch to earn money for their family and such. And I don't know, it just hit differently as Krista was sharing, what she did. And I very much appreciated her willingness to share that information with us. I wanted to tell you about, while I was talking about Krista, that she has a Facebook group called Stitching Mondays with Mary. And she is working on right now, I'm looking down at my notes because I want to make sure I get it correct. She is stitching right now on Maria Spence sampler, the Maria Spence sampler by Exemplar. And so she does a real-time video live where she is talking about this sampler, but she's also talking about all sorts of other things, but you're watching her stitch, and it's so beautiful. It's like old time getting together with friends and just stitching, and she's talking about some of the things that the ladies are commenting on, or she's sharing some knowledge that she has about other samplers and stuff, or what perhaps Mary Spence was doing at the time, that she was doing her stitching, just all sorts of different things. And I just enjoy when I get to get on there and just hear her and just, you know, I don't know, get to be a part of it. And we don't always, you know, you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars to go, you know, to a retreat, although they're wonderful and very usually worth the money, you know, to be able to go and stuff. But there's so many opportunities that we have as stitchers to be able to be part of the community of other stitchers and enjoy just learning from each other. And yeah, so I just wanted to share that, you know, with you, that I got an opportunity to be part of that particular day. And it has led to being able to be part of lots of other days. You know, getting to see what other people are stitching, or see what she's stitching, and talking about other people's stitching. So my tower is falling again. Okay, so the next one that I would like to talk to you about is As the Crow Flies. And I think that I started this one in September of 2024, last year. And I think a couple of things resulted in me stitching this, but it is As the Crow Flies by Stacy Nash. And a couple of things I think, like I said, resulted in this is that, okay, working a hobby house, you see lots of people stitching lots of wonderful things with lots of beautiful colors and lots of beautiful fabrics, and everybody changing what they're doing. And it just is a very instigatory thing. And so I love every minute of it. And getting to meet people and getting to hear their enthusiasm for what they're stitching and what they're doing. And their style might be completely different than mine. And mine very different from theirs. But it's so interesting and exciting to see, you know, what people do and change. And maybe they do everything exactly the same, or maybe they change everything. It's just fun. It's so much fun. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to show you As the Crow Flies. I am stitching on 36 Cosmic Platinum by Dames of the Needle, and I'm using the called for weeks dye work. So I'll show you the threads are so fall, so, I don't know, just fun. And yeah, just fun. So here is my stitch. Okay, now I had purchased a couple pieces of 36 count previous to this. I had not tried them. I bought them thinking, oh, maybe I'll try something on 36 count. I never did. This Cosmic Platinum is grungy and funky and so fall to me that I had to stitch on this particular fabric, this particular stitch. So it is everything fall that I love. I am obsessed with acorns. I love pretty much anything acorn. And I will use acorns in any season. I just love them. But when I was stitching this, it just was so fun. I had such a hard time putting it down, but I got to the end of the fall season and really wanted to start stitching Christmas or that season, that I just had to put it down. This was as big as my hoop was. Can you see the marks? That's all I could fit into that. And I stitched as long as I could, but I knew once I had to move the hoop, that was going to be much more work. And anyway, I decided not to. So I have threads on the back waiting to be stitched into the next portion, which I don't know. I didn't know until I was ironing all of my pieces that I actually do that a lot. I didn't know that. I had not ever recognized that about myself, that I tend to leave a thread here and there. Okay, so the next one that I want to show you is in this lovely Ziploc bag. See, told you, I don't even care what they're in. Anyway, it is the Blue Flowers Quilting Bee. I love it so much. Once upon a time, I thought all of this was stitched, and I'm very thankful to say it's just this part. So anyway, I love it. I love how Janine's bees are very Quaker-esque. I don't know. I love that. Excuse me. I love that design style. So mine is being stitched on 20 count mushroom Aida with the called for threads, except I am using DMC 3813 for the Mountain Mist, which would be this color here for the Mountain Mist. And so there you go. Sorry, I don't necessarily want that to fall off of there. All right. So anyway, again, left a thread. But this is the... I love the tininess of the 20 count Aida. I am incredibly intimidated by the idea of going to 40 count. I really need magnifiers for 36. And I'm sure if I tried it, I could do it. I just really want my stitching to be enjoyable to me. And I think I'm just concerned that it would not be enjoyable to me at that count. And so, yeah. So I started this one and it's very out of order. At this point, I had gotten into my journals and realized that I had missed putting a bunch of my stitches into the journal for whatever reason. I don't know why. But, so I just had to put them in at the end of my pile. So anyway, this one started sometime in 2023 is when I started it, the Quilting Bee. Okay, so then this one is from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And it started out as I purchased the pattern at the Jingle Ball. And that is this one. And I have a printout of it because I bought the PDF. So it is Coulter, I think is his name. Let me just make sure. Yes, Coulter the Fox. Now, these all call for the Cosmo threads. And I know that I bought this. Oh, goodness. It had to have been 22. Or, yes, 22. Because you could only get it at the Jingle Ball. So I bought him. And then I bought... I had bought their little booklet. And it had one in there. And then I ended up buying the family. Or the mom and dad. And... this year I bought the family. That one's on the PDF. And so anyway, you go down a whole path. I'll show you Coulter. This is as far as I've gotten. It's on an Aida, like a very light blue Aida. I have lots of other fabrics waiting to be used for it. Lots of different colors, lots of different counts. I think I wasn't quite sure what exactly I wanted to use. because, like I said, all of the threads were Cosmo. I am not at all familiar with Cosmo. I'm going to take them out of the bag so you can see them in all of their actual glory. Anyway, I have not been familiar at all with Cosmo threads. And so I wanted to try them on different fabrics. I'm just like that. I don't want to use just one type of fabric. I want to see what something will look like on other fabrics. I think there's probably a lot of us like that. Of course, some are happy in their happy sweet spot, which that's fine too. Anyway, Cosmos are really nice. They are a 6-ply, I believe, thread. They are very comparable to DMC. I don't think they quite have the luster of DMC, so like the shininess, but they have a really great feel to them when you stitch with them into the fabric. They're very smooth. They have a lot of loft to them, so when you're doing a stitch, they cover really well, very nicely. So anyway, if you haven't tried them, I would suggest trying them. I started to do the Coulter stitch during the Jingle Ball this year, but we had a lot going on that weekend. My husband's Christmas party was that weekend, and so we ended up being out of town. He likes to get a hotel. It's like out in Buffalo. He likes to get a hotel room for us to get away. Not that we have anything to get away from. I mean, our child is 36. You don't get away from that. You know, he's got his own life. So anyway, long story short, it was a nice getaway weekend, but I didn't get a lot of stitching done, and I was jumping around a lot at the Jingle Ball, going to the different event things that they had going on, and a lot of the media stuff that they were doing, and it was just enjoyable. So I didn't get a lot of stitching done, I guess is what I'm trying to say there. Okay, so the next one I'm going to show you is I started in November of last year. I think I actually started the first one because I restarted it. I think I started in October of last year. I had purchased the pattern, the Valdanis, and the fabric all at the same time from Hobby House back in, like, I'm going to say 21, maybe. I don't have like an actual like receipt of when I purchased it, but I got Dune by Atomic Ranch, and I started stitching on it, and I didn't like it, like, not at all. The feeling of the fabric was very tight with the Valdani threads, and other people might be completely thrilled with that. I just didn't like how they were laying on the fabric, and so I have that fabric in my stash with the piece that I did on it. But anyway, in case you don't know what I'm talking about, this is Autumn Quakers by Rosewood Manor. It is so much more beautiful than the picture on here is. I think the picture is beautiful, but the fabrics, the colors of the Valdanis, it's just gorgeous. So let me show you. Okay, I took the Valdanis. They come in a little tiny, looks like a thing of yarn, like a little ball of yarn. I took them off of there, cut them into lengths that I enjoy using, and put them on these drops with their tag on the back of what they are. So I enjoy all of the colors oh my gosh, they're just beautiful. Just so beautiful to work with. So this is the piece. I am working on 28 count raw by Zweigart with the called for Valdani. It calls for 28 count because the Valdanis are pretty thick. And you use just one thread, which is an incredible pleasure to work with. This portion right here is the portion that I stitched onto the dune color. I didn't mind the color. It was the tightness of the fabric that I did not enjoy at all. I did finish that section so I could use it for something. I don't know what I'll use it for, but I could use it for something like a little pillow or something like that. But it's so beautiful. I really, really had a hard time putting this away when it came time to start stitching on more winter things. And okay, this is the beautiful bag that this one is in. And it's because it's so much stuff that has to go back in that bag. So anyway. Okay, the next one that I have is another piece that is from Hobby House Press. It is called Quaker Christmas. Again, it's one of the pieces. I bought a ton of patterns at the beginning of when I got back into working on cross stitch again, and I fell in love with so much, and I just bought a lot of patterns. So anyway, this is called Quaker Christmas. Again, this is one of Kathy's patterns. It's so gorgeous. I love the style of everything that is in there. I am changing the colors again. Just Kathy's colors are a little bit more primitive than I necessarily use in my house. And so this last year when I was working at the shop, there were these colors sitting in a bin. It was during one of the big retreat weekends, and these colors happened to be sitting together. I'll show you the three colors that were sitting together. These three, they're all Gloriana threads. They were sitting together, these three, and I was like, oh my word, those would make such a pretty Christmas stitch. Not sure exactly what I was going to use them for or anything, but of course I bought them. And then I do the Stitchy box at Christmas time for an advent calendar. I purchased one. And so this year, I'm not sure if it was this year or this year and last year. But anyway, they had three colors that came in the box that I also fell in love with together. And I thought all three of those would look really good with these three. And so I am stitching them together. And this is what I am doing. So I'm using that brown for the base of the tree. And then I changed the greens to that dark green. Okay, now I have a little paper here. Okay, so the red is Gloriana. I'm going to show it. I'll put this up for you guys. But the red is Gloriana Floramelli's number 162 Schoolhouse Red. The olive green, which is the darker green, is number 206 Olivine. And the silver green, which is the lighter one, is number 210, silver green. And then there's the white in between is called Alabaster Globe Flower from the Stitchy box. It's a flower silk. And then the brown is called Cedar by Stitchy Silk. And then there is another color, Moonlight, which I think it's the gray. I'm going to just check real quick. Yes, the gray. And the gray color, it's this one, is going to be the swan. I didn't want a black swan. I wanted like a whiter swan. I think that's what I'm doing with it. I can't remember. Sorry, but let me show you that, and I'll put that there. You can make a screenshot of it if you happen to like these colors or want to try these colors. Feel free. This is just my personal conversion, not sanctioned by anyone else, i.e. Kathy, although I think she's seen it and she thought it was pretty. Anyway, there it is. And I like I said, I love anything Quaker. I think Quakers tend to be my aesthetic, things that I enjoy very much. So if you have any other questions about that, feel free to ask me. I was just looking to see what I was going to use that Moonlight on. Oh, the Old Crow. I'm going to use the floss that's called Old Crow. The black basically is going to be that gray, that silver gray color. So, and I am having to put all of these away. I apologize. I'm sure that's taken more time, and the zippering is probably crazy. But if I don't put them away, I'll cry later because it will be so much more work for me. Okay, the next one is another from Hobby House. Okay, absolutely is one of those things where when you're working there and you see something that's beautiful and you see all the other people that are seeing it and are seeing how beautiful it is, and you want to stitch it too because, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. So anyway, I saw the actual pillow of this. This is called Merry Christmas. And it is a design by Kathy Mills of Hobby House Press. And I just adore her. I adore her patterns. She just is so, she's so good at it. I just love it. Anyway, so that is hers. Now, I decided, I have a lot of red things. And again, the one day that I was there, sorry, it was very crinkly. The working there, part of working there that makes it difficult is how you see beautiful, beautiful pieces of fabric. And this one is a Mason linen. This was sitting there with some other, excuse me, patterns that they had available for the Great British Weekend, along with these silks. And this is a Versoise 103, and it's number 210. Okay, so this is Antique Button Light, 36 count. And, you know, once the retreat was over and all of the retreat ladies had gotten to choose, you know, what they wanted and everything, we were able to purchase, you know, some of the things there that they had available. And Merry Christmas had just come out, or was just coming out. And anyway, I could not stitch it. I just loved it so much. Anyway, I have a thread hanging, not hanging, but upward. Anyway, so this is how far I've gotten. I've gotten the middle. I did start it in the middle because I wanted to start it with the trees. It was too hard to start. I'll show you too hard to start where the snowflakes were. So I started in the middle and started with the trees, and oh, I just loved it. I love working with the silk. Now I am using 2 strands of the silk because on the 36 count, I like a dense coverage. I don't like to see the fabric behind it. To me, that looks a little too primitive. But I love this green so much. It's a dark, like emeraldy green color. It's so pretty. And with the fabric in real life it's kind of like a creamy, almost like a creamy platinum color. A little bit more cream than platinum, but it's very, very pretty. Really pretty. Anyway, so I'm having a lot of fun stitching on that, and I stopped stitching like probably around Christmas time because, you know, you start working on the next set of like winter stuff, and that was kind of where I had gone from there. And let's see. Okay, so the next one that I'm stitching is Joy Noel, and it comes from this book. It's a Blackbird book. And I'm going to open it up to the actual pattern itself, which really the front shows you just as well as the back, that picture. But I am stitching it on, let's see, 32 count antique lace, which is the first time that I actually stitched on a seraphim fabric, which I love it. It's beautiful. I don't know how many of you people do this, but you buy fabrics because they're beautiful or because they're suggested in your stitching, and then you get a little nervous to stitch on that. I don't know, like I was nervous to stitch on it because of the modeling, and you know, I wasn't sure what my stitch was going to look like on it or whatever. So anyway, I am using the Given DMC conversion, and again, this is Antique Lace by Seraphim, and I don't think I could love it more. I love the colors. Like even this light blue, like I thought looked like a baby blue almost, but on this fabric, it's so pretty. It's so pretty because the fabric has like this grayish modeling in it. I mean, if you're not familiar with antique lace, it's like a creamy, dirty, creamy color with like gray modeling in it. It's so pretty. So pretty. So, and I love the pink in these berries. Again, they're so pretty. I love that the, okay, this leafy pattern to me with the berries just screams French. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful. I love it so much. And I can't wait to get up into like these letters and stuff, just all the colors, the beautiful colors that are in it. So again, that's as far as I could get though in the season. So thank you for bearing with me as I fold up the stitches and everything. All right, the next one that I am working on was a gift from my son a couple years ago for Christmas. And last Jingle Ball, we were in the middle of a move, and when we had sold our house and we moved into a tiny little cottage on the lake that we live nearby. And the cottage was super duper cold because it was a summer cottage, and we were living there in the winter until January. So we were there from September to January. Anyway, long story short, during the Jingle Ball, I was sitting underneath a blanket and cuddled up stitching with my dog, and this is mostly what I stitched. I did stitch, like I said before, some other things, but this is called Button Up, and let me show you the pattern. This is what it would look like if I was doing it all together, but I'm actually going to do them as little ornaments, kind of like what you see at the bottom there. I think I might frame them in like a black fabric frame around them or something. But they're super cute. I'm hoping to make them into like little ornaments or something like that. But they're so cute. Maybe I should show you up close. Aren't they cute? Anything Prairie Schooler does is adorable, I think, anyway. I mean, they're very simple, but they're no joke as far as stitching. They're so much stitching, even those little teeny tiny patterns. But I am doing that on 32 count ivory Murano even weave, which I think is an oxymoron because I think Murano means even weave. And I'm using all of the called for DMCs. So, and I think I originally started them during the Jingle Ball of 23, but I worked on them again last year. Sorry. Yes, no, I'm telling you right. 23 is when I started them. That was when we were at the cottage. So, okay, so my next one is a blue flower pattern again, and this is being stitched. It is Huckleberry Farm, and it is being stitched on 36 count spotted stone, which is a Hobby House Dye Works fabric. And let me show you the original pattern, Huckleberry Farm. Oh my word. I don't know what set me off that I had to finally get this pattern, but I had to finally get this pattern. It's so beautiful and I just love it so much. I will show you the threads. I'm sorry, my threads are always kind of rat nesty, but still workable. So anyway, these are all of the beautiful threads together. There's all sorts of pink, purple, burgundy, tans, just gorgeous. And I am working bottom left corner again. On this, I've got the chipmunk started, not quite finished, and working up. Yeah, sorry. This one you can't actually see the design very well through that. I mean, it's a little hard to see even. There we go. Okay, so I'm working up this direction right here. I've gotten this chipmunk done. Sorry about that. Bring that up close. I mean, you can already see how so cute it is. I heard somebody say this recently about Janine, that she just has a way with animals. I think they were referring specifically to her, I think it's the Rocky Mountain Heart that she just did. She has that series that has the hearts that have all different kinds of animals in them, and flowers and vine work and just different things. And oh my word, they're so right. She just has a way with making animals just come to life in her stitching. And I am right there for it. They're just gorgeous. I've done several of her pieces, the spring quail, the magnolia, or dogwood. I'm not sure if it's a dogwood or magnolia, but and obviously you've seen quite a few of the bees and different things, and she just has a way of bringing them to life. And you know, maybe they don't necessarily look all, you know, true to life, but they're just gorgeous. I just realized I'm coming very close to you. I'm back. Anyway, you'll forgive me. This is my first time. Please let me know what I'm not doing right, and I will work at rectifying those things when I do my next one. So, okay, my next stitch is called Bluebird Sampler. I started this sometime in 2024 because I remember purchasing the pattern and then getting the threads and the fabric through the shop. I have no idea what the fabric is. It says nothing on it. The only thing I know is it's Zweigart based. So anyway, this is the pattern. It's called Bluebird Sampler. Is a beautiful, beautiful Quaker. You pretty much could use any threads you wanted to do it. I changed the threads from what she called for to what I wanted to use. I like blues very much, but I also like other colors with blues, and so I'll tell you what I'm using. I am using, just because I fell in love with these colors when I was at the shop, Classic Colorworks Belle Soie. Sorry, they're all silks. Evergreen is the green, and it also has some blue in it, and so I'm actually using that for one of the colors on there, because it calls for 4 colors and I'm only using 3. The Midnight 66 Midnight from Dinky Dyes. And then this one, I'm going to share the name with you, but it's possible the name is not correct. So it says it is First Rain, but I remember picking out a color, and I think that one of them was labeled. And so Hobby House wasn't going to be able to sell it because they didn't know what color it was. So anyway, that is that color. So, and here's the stitch. And again, I'm working down at the bottom left of the pattern. So just getting up through to the leaf. It's been a little while since I've worked on this, but I think it's beautiful. I love the colors. I love how the blue green come together, and yeah. All right, so just bear with me. I only have maybe 7 or so left to go, so thank you so much. I had no idea it was going to last this long. Okay, so the next one is Valentine Stitches. I know a lot of us have seen Kathy Haberman's, the different ones that she offers free to all of us. And this particular one, oh, I just realized I don't have the anything but the pattern. This one was a freebie from Cochetta Go-Go, and so I'll put it back here just in case she doesn't have it for free anymore. I didn't clarify that it was free in 2021. So anyway, but I have it started, and it is on, I'm gonna say it's on a raw. Kind of looks like that's what that color is. And I want to say it's probably like a 28 raw. I have a whole bunch of them. My envelope is full of the different patterns that mostly they're freebies that I just keep in that package to be able to pull out when I have time that I want to work on a Valentine stitch. Usually they're just really super quickie ones that I'm enjoying working on. Alrighty. The next one. Okay, now I'm assuming that this one is called Marie's Chickens. Because I don't know what French. I don't know French. However, most languages are kind of similar to each other, and it says Les Poulets de Marie. So I'm pretty sure it means chickens of Marie. And so anyway, this is by Reflet de Soie. And they called for a whole bunch of silks. And so I chose the DMC conversion that they provided. And I believe that I wanted a really grungy looking fabric like this. But I wanted some blue to pull out some of the greens and reds and yellows that are in it. So I chose, and I think that it's Stonewashed by Seraphim. I had this in my stash, and I'm thinking that I got this like on D-Stash site. But at Hobby House, we have we have had a lot of this fabric from Seraphim come through. And so anyway, there's the stitches. And it's basically all the grass area down at the bottom is where I'm filling in. And then right here, this is actually the rooster's tail feathers. So anyway, we have a lot of this Stonewashed fabric, and it looks very, very similar to this. So, and the little, at the top, I can show you if I can find it again. Yeah, this area here. See how it says stone right there? That's common when they send the fabric. They will have some of it that is marked like that to tell you what it is. So you can get it in the right spot just in case you're not familiar with that color. I started that, wasn't that long ago, maybe January of this year, I'm pretty sure. Again, some of these I forgot to write down in my book, so I don't have exact knowledge of the last ones when I started them, but I'm doing my best. Okay, the next one is, again, Blue Flower. And this one I just started, I'm going to say maybe a few days ago or so. Like I said, I like to stitch in the season, and I had just finished something, so I wanted to work on one more winter piece. So this is called Winter Acorns, and it is stitched on 28 count Springfield Sage Lugana, and I am using, let me grab those. I am using the called for Classic Colorworks and Gentle Arts threads again, little rat nesty. Yeah. So anyway, okay. It says top left up here, so I know which direction it goes because it's going to be like a pillow piece. But yeah. I love the colors, the blue grays in there. I don't love stitching in white, like I said, but I try to railroad as much as I can so it helps them to lay better. And using Lugana kind of helps that as well for me. But it's not exactly white, so that also makes the stitches, I don't know, something about the white thread drives me crazy. It doesn't want to lay as nicely as I want it to. Anyway, the next stitch is one of my very all-time favorites. I started this, and I'm pretty sure Okay, it says I started it in July. I was going to say maybe I started it for my birthday, but that would be in June. So, yeah. Anyway, sometime this summer I started it. It is called Blooming Vase by Erin Elizabeth. And it is so gorgeous. Just so pretty. I have always liked coral and green together. Way back in the Southwest days of decor, I love those colors together. I didn't decorate with that, but I love the colors together. So anyway, Erin Elizabeth is one of, I would say she's a newer designer. And this is my stitch. Now, the white stitches, I decided, okay, so it called for a cream, sorry, I'm reaching in the bag. It called for like a cream colored silk. And on this fabric, it wasn't going to work. This is Victorian sponge cake, 30 count Victorian sponge cake. It is my all-time favorite fabric to use. Even if it's 30 count, I don't care. I love it so much. It's so beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful cream. It is by Legacy Linen. Okay, so the colors that they called for was Dinky Dyes number 180 Red Jasper, which is the color I used, and number 274 Lagoon. They also asked for, let me see if I can see it, Pearl. Hobby House didn't have Pearl, but when I looked it up, it was a cream color. Because the fabric that they have on their back of fabric is a vintage country mocha, which has a lot more tan ruddiness to it. And I really wanted to use this cream. So I think that is actually closer to the color it actually is rather than up close. It was a little washing out there. Okay, so I started using B5200. The stitches looked horrendous. I could not get them to lie flat. They just look so bad. And anyway, so I decided that I was going to use sulky thread, and I am. It is a 12 weight sulky thread, and it is 1001. I think you can see that. There you go. It's nice. I think the stitches look much better than they did. Yeah, they're still not perfect, but they're way better than they were. So, and they stand out, which is nice. I think that's kind of the look of this particular stitch, is that they're meant to kind of stand out a little stronger in that. All right. Oops. Okay. So now, let's see. The very last one that I have been working on, and oh, there it is. All right, the very last one that I've been working on, but I do have one other thing to share with you, is Peppermint and Pine, and I just started him a couple days ago. Had only a couple of hours to work on them, but okay, so this is the pattern, Peppermint and Pine, and I'm working on the cardinal. Okay, and these are the threads that are going with it. There's some DMC and then some Classic Colorworks and Gentle Arts. Okay. And I am stitching it on 36 count Patriots Brew. I'll show that again. There. And I just love it. It's so much fun. I'm only working with the one color right now. The very first color is 22. One of those newer DMC colors. And that will actually go back in my hoop tonight to work on. Well, maybe not tonight because it's getting pretty late. But, okay, the very last thing I wanted to share with you guys. One of the things that I love so much about working at Hobby House is I get to meet new people. And part of that was getting to meet, his name is Mike Monette, and he just was an absolute delight to get to know. He came into Hobby House from up in Canada. I think it was like up near, well, towards like Vermont, New Hampshire, that direction up above. And he showed us a couple of, sorry, I feel like I'm like out of sorts here, but I'm not really. I'm just trying to get everything together. He showed us a couple of patterns that he was working on. And one of them is called the Sea Buckthorn sampler. Let's see if I can get you a good picture. I'll bring it in close. The blues and those oranges, just gorgeous. Okay, so I'm not familiar with a sea buckthorn, and I had to look it up on Google. And it is an orange red or red orange berry. It's just beautiful. And I love like all of like these really neat leaf shapes, and obviously the Quaker-esque part of it and the bunny up top there. And yeah, it's just so beautiful. So, of course, you know, he didn't care if we changed colors or did whatever, but he is going to be selling his designs at some point here. And I'll give you that information before I finish. But I am stitching his sea buckthorn, and I only got so far because, you know, I started working on other things. But I started working on this in August of 24 on just the Ticket Tabby Cat fabric, and it's 20 count. I am using DMC 169 and Belle Soie Sonoran Sunset. And this is what I've got going. And I just love it. I waited to start because I'm not a real orange person. Okay, I don't love like orange. But somebody bought this color at the shop. Sonoran Sunset by Belle Soie. And oh my word, I fell in love with it. And I thought, that's what I can use on that sampler. So that is what I'm using. Okay. And then I also wanted to show you. Okay. This is the most pathetic, pitiful start of another piece, but I will show you. And it is called Anne Hall. It is also another sampler that he is doing. And this is what that one looks like. Now, remember down here when you see my start. That's all I got started. But it was because I couldn't figure out what colors I wanted. And I was trying to figure out what colors to do. And so, anyway, I got the most tiny, pathetic little start. It was ridiculous. But the colors that I chose are so beautiful. They're actually not on a ring, I don't think. Nope. They're not on a ring. Okay, so I'm using dark chocolate well, I won't bother at this point in time to tell you all the colors that I'm using, but I'm using these. If you want to know, I'm going to be stitching on it again, so it'll show up in a Wip Parade for sure, but I can also tell you the colors that I'm using later. If you ask, I'll write them down and share that. So he is going to be, I'm going to show you his information here. He's going to be releasing some other patterns. These are ones that he's working on. They're gorgeous. So gorgeous. So beautiful. I don't know how people do the designing of these, but whenever I see like Kathy doing, it just astounds me. So anyway, those are a couple more that he's going to be doing, and he's working on this one. Okay, he said he doesn't have the whole thing done yet, but I can't not show you because it's so stinking adorable. It has a dodo bird on it. Slay me right now, okay? That is just so stinking adorable. Okay, so he's working on those. I'm going to show you his info on top of the one that I'm working on right now. You can screenshot that and get into Instagram. His name is Mike Monette. And his samplers are going to be under Strawberry Hill Samplers. And you can get into his Instagram that way. Contact him, let him know if you're interested in any of his stitches that he has available, and I'm sure he'll reach back out to you. He's working on doing the finished samplers so that he can take a good picture of them and everything, but I didn't need a good picture to want to stitch it. I mean, he had good pictures, and they're just beautiful. So, okay, well, therein lies my Wip Parade, and I hope that you enjoyed it. I am so thankful that if you stayed around for 2 hours and 19 minutes, holy crow, thank you. And I hope to see you again in the comments and see you again in my next video. I don't know when exactly I will video again, but it won't be that long, just because I know that it's important to just keep doing them, and I'll get more relaxed at doing it. I hope I didn't come across too nervous. They say fake it till you make it, and that was definitely me today. I am very nervous, but anyway, I loved it. I love the idea of connecting with other cross stitchers and getting to know you in the comments and over on Instagram. And my husband's going to do some tech stuff afterwards that you'll be able to see my Instagram page and everything. So if you ever come into Hobby House and you see me, please say hi. And thank you again so much. Have a nice day.